Sarika Prabhu is okay. We are live. So we're going to put the verse on the screen and you may begin.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much.
We're going to try to stick to the time.
Very good.
Yeah.
Always good to keep to the time.
Yeah.
Oma Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshur Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Stapetanyena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sagana Ragunatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijatam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padasagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vidamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangira Devrindavaniswari Vrishavanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Kavi Chandra Swamini Namini Namaste Prabhupadartari Nama Pracharini Granta Vitarana Prithivya Shishya Gaine Sada Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Vivishesha Shunyavadi Satyadi Shatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Rudhirayet Nashta Prayeshwa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishike Tadara Justamo Bhava Kamalu Vadayaschaye Chaitana Vedam Sitam Satve Prasidati. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you all today's lecture. Today is a very wonderful day. Today is we're starting a new verse. We are starting a new verse today, and the title is what is the title? It's not here.
How Maharaj Parikshit received the age of Kali.
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhu. How Maharaj Parikshit received the age of Kali. And today also happens to be the Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami disappearance day. Very auspicious day. So today's verse is very, very wonderful. So let's start. Sutta uvacha tata parisha dvajan parayan shikshaya maim mahabhagavata shikshashaya ha yatahi sutyam nabijatam kovidah sama disham vipramahad gunastata sutta uvacha tata parishi dvaja varya shikshaya mahim mahabhagavata hakshai aha yatai sutvam abhijatam kovida samadhisham vipramahad gunastataha sutta uvacha Tata Parishveda Varya Shikshaya Mahim Maha Bhagavata Chaksha Saha Yatai Sutwam Abhijatan Kuvidaha Samadhi Shampi Pramahad Gunastata. What translation? Sutta Uvacha. Sutta Goswami said, Tata thereafter, Parishit, Mahat Parishit, Dvijavarya, the great wise-born Brahmanas, Shikshaya by their instructions, Mahim, the head, Mahabhagavataha, the great devotee, Shakshasa, rule, in the past, Yata, as they told it. He certainly, Sutwam, at the time of his birth, Abhijata Govidaha, as per astrologer at the time of birth, Samadhishan gave the opinions, O Brahmanas, Mahagunaha, great qualities that are true to that. Translation of Papa by His Divine Grace, Abai Charanaravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ke Jai. Translation, Sutta Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaj Parishit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instruction of the best of the twice-born Brahmanas. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth. I will repeat again. Sutta Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas, Maharaj Parishit then began to rule over the world as a great devotee of the Lord under the instruction of the best of the twice-born Brahmanas. He ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by expert astrologers at the time of his birth. So Srila Prabhupada explains that at the time of Maharaj Parishit's birth, the expert astrologer Brahmana foretold some of his qualities. Maharaj Parishit developed all those qualities, being a great devotee of the Lord. Very important. The qualification to become a devotee of the Lord, and gradually all the quality worthy of possession developed. Maharaj Parishit was a Mahabhagavat, or a first-class devotee, who was not only well-versed in the science of devotion, but also able to convert others to become devotee by his transcendental instruction. Another good point. Maharaj Parishit was therefore a devotee of first order. And thus he used to consult great devotees and learned Brahmana who could advise him by the Shastra and how to execute the state administration. Another good point. Such great devotees, such great kings, were more responsible than modern elective executives else, because they obliged the great authority by following their instruction left in Vedic literatures. There was no need for impractical fools to enact daily a new legislative bill and to conveniently alter it again and again to serve some purpose. The rule and regulation were already set forth by great sages like Manu, Yagyabhaka, Parashara, and other liberated sages. And the enactment were all suitable for all ages in all places. Therefore, the rules and regulations were standard and without flaw or defect. Kings like Maharaj Parishit had their councils of advisors, and all the members of that council were either great sages or brahmanas of the first order. They did not accept any salary, another great point. Nor are there any necessity for such salaries. The state will get the best advice without expenditure. They were themselves samadarshi, equal to everyone, both man and animal. they would not advise the king to give protection to man and instruct him to kill the poor animals. Such council members were not fools or representatives to compose a fool's paradise. They were well self-realized souls, and they knew perfectly well how all living beings in the state would be happy, both in this life and in the next. They were not concerned with the hedonistic philosophy of eat, drink, and be merry and enjoy. They were philosophers in the real sense, and they knew well what is the mission of human life. Under all these obligations, the advisory council of the king will give correct directions, and the king or executive head, being himself a qualified devotee of the Lord, will scrutinizingly follow them for the welfare of the state. The state in the days of Maharaj Yudhishthira or Maharaj Parikshit was a welfare state in the real sense of the term, because no one was unhappy in that state. Be it man or animal, Maharaj Parikshit was an ideal king for a welfare state of the world. Hare Krishna. So this is a very wonderful verse. As I was going through it, nothing was coming to my mind except to discuss about leadership. And so I was thinking about our present day leadership position. Just see the activity of Maharaj Parikshit. So the question is that, are leaders born or trained? Let me ask the question. Let us be a little bit interactive now, because I have so much message here, but I will not be able to finish all since we are going to keep to time. So I want us to, go deeper to whatever point I'm going to discuss. Are leaders born or trained? Anybody can unmute, and let's be a little bit interactive on this part, in this sense. Are leaders born or trained?
I'll say both.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Any other contribution?
They are trained.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Any other contribution?
Yeah. They are trained.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
They are trained.
Any other contribution? Last one. Going, gone. Thank you. And we want to appreciate those devotees who participated. Yes, they are trained and they are born. So according to science studies, some scientific, social scientists, they have carried out some studies about this. And the conclusion was that leadership is 30% genetic, that is born, inherent, hereditary, that is 30%, and 70% learned. So they are both in this sense. So more percentage to the being trained and being born with this leadership trait. So when we look at the life of Maharaj Parikshit, even till today, we are learning and studying the life of Maharaj Parikshit. The whole scenario of Bhagavata itself is about Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was a great king. He became impatient for a little time, and he offended the Brahmanas, and he was caused to die within 7 days. And now, as a great devotee of the Lord, like Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, he wants to know, what should a dying man should do? And this question is relevant to all of us here in this world, because we are all dying man. Some people are 7 days to their grave. Some people are 7 years to their grave. Some people are 70 years to their grave. We are all dying man one day. Many of us have spent 50 years and it looks like yesterday. It's like, wow, years have gone very fast. I'm 50 years old now. It just looked like yesterday. Wow. But Maharaj Parishit, as it described here in this purport explained, so at the time of Maharaj Parishit birth, the expert astrologer Brahmana foretold some of his quality. Means that those qualities were born with him. That is like we said, some are born and some are trained. They are both. But more trained we can develop by learning than being coming from hereditary. So, but here, Parishit Maharaj, he has those qualities naturally. Why? Because his father was a great king. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjuna, they were great king. So it's naturally we have those traits in him. They were very influential. As I was reading, I came across, I remember when we were doing our leadership program, there's this word. What is the great trait of a leader? When you say somebody is a leader, he has one great trait. And that trait is what? Yeah, there's so many other traits you can find as in a leader, but one particular one is influence. A leader can easily influence people. Influence, like we can see Ganesha PRABHU. He has so many followers. Whenever he says his authority, he's like, wow, daddy, oh wow, wonderful. Influence, he has influence on them. So I remember one of our lecturer, he gave the full meaning of influence. What does the meaningful meaning when you take the word one by one? Influence, what is the meaning? He said the I stand for integrity. We have that in the Maharaj Parishit? Yes. We're going to see it as we go on when we are reading. We're going to see it very clearly. And the second one is nurture. A great leader is ready to train, to care for people, nurture people. And the third word is F, which is faith. A great leader has faith in his followers, and that is why he can delegate services. We can see some people who are leading, they cannot delegate properly. Why? They don't have faith in their follower. They want to hold the power. They're scared of the power taken away from them. No faith. So what will happen in such scenario, the followers will not have faith in the leader, and the leader will not have faith in the followers. Then L. What is the meaning of the L in the leadership? Listening. A leader has empathic listening techniques. Listening. He has the ability to listen. If you don't have this, you cannot be a great leader. And the other one is understanding. He knows his job. He knows what he's doing. And that's why he can influence others. The other one is, I'll quickly go through it, emotional intelligence. He can manage his own emotions, and he can manage his followers' emotion. It's very, very important. Emotional intelligence is a very great trait in a quality in a leader. And the other one is communication. His communication skill is very, very wonderful. A good leader must have a good communication skill. And the last one is exemplary. It's exemplary by nature. Influence, this is this full meaning of influence. That is why you are a leader. If I can, like, I remember in Nigeria now, there's so many things going on because in 2023, we are going to do another campaign, election, presidential election. You can see all these great people who are the leaders who are leading the society. Whatever they say, it becomes, news in the media, become a big thing. They can influence people. If they just say, kill, you will see so many people start killing themselves. You say, Save. You see so many people saving. Influence. They have great influence on people. People don't even know how. So, yeah, Prabhupada was mentioning, he said he mentioned that Maharaj Parishji developed all those qualities. Means that not only that, the astrologer predicted that in him, he also consciously developed those qualities. That's why many of us say train. He developed those qualities also. That's what Prabhupada said in the purport. He said Maharaj Parishji developed all those qualities. Being a great devotee of the Lord, there's another point here, which I would like to mention. He said, the real qualification is to become a devotee of the Lord. And gradually, all good quality worthy of possession develop. So now I'm going to ask another question. Prabhupada is saying seemingly contradictory statements here. They are not there's no contradiction, but it seems so. Prabhupada is saying, he said that Parishji developed those qualities, means he worked for them. He consciously developed them, he worked for them. And now Prabhupada is saying, but the real qualification is to become a pure devotee. That once you become a pure devotee, all those qualities naturally comes in you. So now let us interact a little bit. What do we want to say about this Prabhupada statement?
Please kindly unmute yourself and speak if you want to.
The point is, Maharaj Parishji developed all those qualities being a great devotee of the Lord. He developed them. Then Prabhupada again said that just by becoming a pure devotee, naturally all these qualities, you will possess them. What does that mean? I want someone to throw more light for us. We are learning. This is an adult class.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Please go ahead.
It's like if you have $100, automatically you have $50. Because $50 is embedded in $100. So similarly, once you become pure, you automatically have all the material qualities. Because all those qualities are embedded in pure purity, pure devotion to Krishna. So you don't need separate endeavor.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you. Any more contribution? More contribution?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
Yes, my little contribution is just that normally when a devotee follows the rules and regulation of the movement, automatically those things will be embedded in it. So automatically it's also going to develop those qualities by default. Once the rules and regulation is part and parcel of their living, style of living. So it is all embedded together. Once the devotee follows the rules and regulation, then automatically will have the traits and the quality of a leader.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your contribution. I'm going to read directly the shloka Prabhupada quoted. Yes, yasti bhakti bhagavati akichana sarva guna istatra samasiti suraha. Haro abhaktasya kutu mahaguna manorasena davato bahi. Here, this is shloka Prabhupada is quoting directly. Yes, yasti bhakti bhagavati akichana sarva guna tatra samasiti sura. What does that mean? When one becomes pure devotee of the Lord, all the divine qualities, all the qualities of the demigods will naturally manifest in that person. That's what this verse is saying. Then he said, Aro abhaktasya kutu mahaguna manorate nasati devato bayir. What does that mean? If you are not a devotee of Krishna, Hari abhaktasya, if you are not a devotee of Krishna, Kutu mahaguna, you are under the three modes of material nature. You are under the modes of nature. And what happens to those who are influenced by the modes? Manoratena sati. Prabhupada explained in one of his lectures. Rata, Manorata. You will be riding on the chariot of the mind. When you are controlled by the modes, you will be riding on the chariot of the mind. Manorate nasati davato bayir. No matter whatever good quality you are displaying, is just due to the influence of the mode. It cannot stay for long because you will be moving like on the chariot of the mind. So that is why Prabhupada is saying that all this good quality of a leader actually come in a pure devotee by becoming pure. But should we wait till before we become pure, before we develop this good quality? The answer is no. Because to become pure devotee of the Lord means total surrendering to the Lord. Since we have been practicing devotional service, we have been learning to surrender. Many of us have not totally surrendered. But we need to cultivate those good qualities. And that is why if you go to the chapter, Bhagavatam Canto 5, chapters 18, verse 12, where Prabhupada brought this shloka, in the purport there, Prabhupada enumerated the 26 qualities of devotees. Those qualities, we have to cultivate them as a sadhaka. If we become pure devotee, naturally we will have them. But since we have not become pure, we are on the path of becoming pure. We have to cultivate them. So all these good qualities, they are in Parishit Maharaj, and they influence the way he managed his kingdom as a great leader. So nowadays, in today's world, we have leadership crisis. It's the major problem we're having in the world. We don't even know. Even Africa is the worst. Although there's leadership crisis all over the world, but it's worse in Africa. Why? Because they are not devoted of the Lord. I remember one time, there was one of the officials, government official, accused of corruption. He stole so much money. So that he will not be persecuted. When he was going to court, after they sue him to court, when he was going to court, he went and bandaged his neck and bandaged all his body and walking with crutches to the court. So when he now got to the court, he said he's not well. So they didn't give full judgment that day. So they asked him to go and treat himself. So not knowing that they have fixed a camera in the hotel where he was staying. So with the crutches, he went back to his hotel. So when he got to the hotel, he removed the crutches and removed all the bandage and started walking normally. He became well. And he was the one even leading the prayer. They were praying. He was the one leading the prayer. Just tell me what kind of prayer that one is going to pray to God. So these are the kind of leaders we have today. Leaders who are only thinking about themselves. Selfish, self-centered leaders. Proper call it self-centered and extended selfishness. They are selfish to amass wealth for themselves and also to their immediate extensions. There's one group, I was in one group, so we were discussing in that group. And I was saying that democracy is one type of government. I was saying that democracy is not good for Africa. Because when we are reading this scripture, what kind of leadership are they practicing? What kind of government are they practicing? They are practicing monarchy system of government. And in that monarchy system of government, not that the king has the total power, like explain here. Sometimes when we talk about monarchy system, because of misuse of power, people are afraid, they're scared about that system. But we can see here how it's being practiced in the Vedas, in the Vedic literature. Prabhupada explained very detailed in the purport how this monarchy system is being practiced.
in the golden age. How? The king surrounded himself, just like we have in democracy system. We have executive arm of government, we have legislative arm of government, and we have the judiciary. Prabhupada mentioned here very nicely. I was laughing when I was reading it. You know, in the democratic system, we vote these people into power. And Prabhupada mentioned here very nice, very funny, the word he used to describe people who are voting people in. I will just read. He says, there was, no, he didn't mention about those who are voted, that the people we voted in. He said there was no need for impractical fools to enact daily a new legislative bill and to conveniently utter it again and again to serve some purpose. Papa called them what? Impractical fools. Our legislature. Our legislature, Papa said they are fools. Why? Because they're only making laws to suit their own purposes. That's what they are doing there. And that is why if in Nigeria here, we see the masses, they are criticizing them, how they are getting so much allowances. They will have wardrobe allowances, they will have car allowance, they will have the people who are taking care of their house allowance, they will have medical allowance, they will have all even unimaginable allowances they are getting. At the end of the day, when you calculate how much they are getting, it's going to millions and millions of naira. I don't know how much in dollars. Just why? To sit down and make laws to benefit themselves. We are paying them to make laws to benefit themselves, not for the masses, especially in Africa. Prabhupada said here, in those days, when those pure monarchy system was being practiced, the king surround himself with great devotees and brahmanas. Those devotees and brahmanas, they are taking their knowledge from experts in those fields. Prabhupada gave example. We have Manu, Jagyavaka, Parasharamon. These people are experts in politics. They are experts in politics. So those great kings, they will take knowledge from those people who have studied these great sages' literature and become perfected in it. They will take guidance from them, their advice. They will be their counselors, the advisor, to guide the king on how to rule the kingdom. And what was the main purpose of ruling the kingdom as a great king, as a saintly king? For the welfare of the people. For the welfare of the people. So we can see how degraded Kali Yuga is, because the leaders, they are only thinking about themselves. They don't care about others. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned, Prabhupada was saying, in the verse, let me go back to the verse. He said, he ruled by those great qualities which were foretold by an expert astrologer at the time of his birth. What are those qualities? In chapter 13, it was mentioned of those great qualities that Parishit Maharaj is going to be using to rule his kingdom. What are those qualities? He explained in chapter 13 there, chapter 12, Canto 1. Maintain his subject like Manu. That Parishit Maharaj will maintain his subject like Manu. Who is Manu? Manu is the father of mankind. Manu has given Manu Smriti, the literature, to guide on how human beings should live their life by following code of conduct, proper code of conduct. He has given this literature, how women should behave, how men should behave, how to relate with other people, how the king should rule the kingdom. So Manu is following that, and that is why he's the father of mankind. And he has given us this guidance. guidelines. So it is mentioned by the astrologer that Parikshit Maharaj is going to rule his kingdom like Manu. Then he's going to keep his promise like Lord Ramachandra. In India, thank you, Prabhu. In India, I will just read it from the book, no need, Prabhu. So in India, it's mentioned that when the politicians, when they are campaigning, they will promise the people Ram Rajya, kingdom of Lord Ram. Ram Rajya. That I will give you Ram Rajya. What was Ram Rajya? Because Lord Ram was a perfect king. He keeps his words. He makes all his citizens happy. This is the major duty of a leader. If you cannot make your subjects happy, then you are not qualified to be a leader. You should resign immediately. But today, not possible. In Africa, I will use Africa as an example because I'm here. I don't know about other part of the world. We only see them and read about them. But in Africa, the more the people become unhappy, the more you force yourself on them. You must accept me by force. I'm your leader. Whether you're happy or you're not happy, I will rule you. and the most common one now is the campaign that is going on now. Nigerians now, they are crying against old leaders. Like they don't want old leaders. But these old people, they want to enforce themselves on the Nigerians. They don't care about what the people are thinking. No, I'm going to rule you. It's my turn to rule you people. I'm going to rule you. They don't care whether people are happy about it or not. No, that is not a sign of a good leader. A good leader will sample the opinion of people. Wants to know how the people are feeling. What do they think about me? We can see a very good example of Lord Ramachandra when he was going around to see how people were thinking about him, how they feel about him. And immediately he heard a man chastising his wife that, do you think I'm like Lord Ram? You go and sleep out of my house and you are coming back, you want to stay here? No, I'm not going to accept you. I'm not like Ram. Immediately Lord Ram had that. Even he sent Mother Sita, the mother of the universe, he sent her out of the palace. Just imagine what great example he's showing as a king. Even just to hear one complain about himself, he took action. But today, the leaders we have today, they will be hearing so many complaints about and the unhappiness of people. They don't care. They continue to enforce themselves, impose themselves on the people. That is not a sign of good leadership. Then it's also mentioned, he said, he will be munificent donor of charity and protector of the surrender like famous King Shibi. Compare him to King Shibi. Who is King Shibi? King Shibi is a wonderful king mentioned in the Vedic literature, who, after seeing his generosity, Agni Dev and Indra, they decided to test him. Agni took the form of a pigeon. Indra took the form of an eagle. And Indra started chasing the pigeon in the form of eagle to eat eagle. And this pigeon ran to King Shibi palace. And as the eagle was chasing this pigeon, he went to that palace. And immediately he got to the palace, the pigeon said, "Oh, my king, please protect me, protect me. The eagle wants to eat me." And immediately the eagle came, he said, oh king, please give me my food, give me my food. This pigeon is my food. You cannot deny me of eating, because if I don't eat, Lord Brahma has given me pigeon to eat as my food. If you deny me of my food, I'm going to die. And as a king, it's your duty also to protect me. Give me my food, give me my food. Now, King Shibi is in dilemma. He has to protect the pigeon, At the same time, he also fulfilled the desire of the eagle by giving the eagle food. So the king said, no problem. What happened is that I'm going to satisfy you. I'm going to protect the pigeon. And I will offer you the flesh of my body that is equivalent to the weight of the pigeon. So he asked his servant to bring scale. And he started cutting the flesh of his body. And he was weighing it. And the weight was increasing until he decided to put his whole body on the weight to give equal balance to the pigeon. And the demigods were so pleased and happy with him that they were able to pass the test, and they revealed their form to glorify King Shibi. These are the kind of leaders we want in today's world. And that is why all these stories are given in the literature. The leaders that are ready to sacrifice their whole life just for the betterment of their subjects, of their people. The leaders that are ready to sacrifice their whole happiness just for make their subject to be happy. These are the leaders they are in scarcity in today's world. So it is mentioned by this astrologer that Mahaparishit is going to be exactly like that of King Shibi in giving donation. Means that he's ready to even give himself to make his citizen happy. Then he say Mahaparishit is going to expand the name and fame of his family like Bharat. We all know that the whole universe was called Ilavrata Brasha before. But when Bharat Maharaj came, he ruled the universe in such a way that the planet Earth was named after him. Bharat Varsha. Although today now, that name has been limited to the Indian country. Actually, was the name that this Earth was named, Bharat Varsha, before. So he's going to be famous like Bharat. Then he said, it will be forbearing like earth and tolerant like his parent. Yudhishthira Maharaj, you can see how Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the Pandavas, they tolerated so many atrocities given to them by their brothers from the other father, the Kauravas. They tolerated it all. And Mother Earth also is tolerating us. Like today now, if you are concerned about the business administration, now the whole business world, they are more interested in sustainability approach in the business, because the United Nations have come to a conclusion and they have drafted some about 17 goals, sustainable. They are called sustainable developmental goals. That if we don't start following these principles, we are going to run into problem with nature. And that is why today, if you are managing any organization, you have to acquaint yourself with these sustainability goals. We call corporate sustainability. So what I'm trying to say, because men have so much exploited Mother Earth, but she's tolerating us. Just imagine, for example, let a particular worm inside your body is eating you. How long are you going to tolerate before you go and buy one medicine and kill him off? That's what we do. But Mother Earth, we have been digging gold, digging oil, digging, giving us so much inconvenience, cutting all the trees on our body. Cutting all the trees on our body is like shaving the hair on the head, on our body. We are doing all this, but you keep on tolerating us. So they said, Lord, Parishit Maharaj is going to be forbearing like Mother Head. Then he mentioned again, he says, he's going to have equanimity of mind like Yudhishthira and Lord Brahma. One day, Dronacharya wanted to test both Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. He said, he told Duryodhana, go into the city and bring somebody that's more better than you. Duryodhana went, he came back, he said, there's nobody that is better than him. He is the best. He told Yudhishthira the same thing. You go into the city and bring somebody that you are better than. And Yudhishthira went into the city and he found one person by the well, fetching water on a Ekadasi day. And he was talking, what is this guy doing? Today is Ekadasi, he's supposed to be fasting. Why is he taking water? And he found out that when he went close to the man, he found out that that man was fetching water to feed his goats. Oh, he said, wow, I was thinking that I found somebody, but now this man is even more greater than me. And he went back, he said, no, sir. They're greater than. So that is equanimity of mind. He could see equal mind. Even when Duryodhana and all his associates were giving them immeasurable miseries, still, when they, just imagine, just imagine, your enemies are sending you out of your house. Your enemy are sending you out of your house. And where you are patching, you are staying, your enemy came close to that place to come and be monitoring how you are suffering outside there. That is what Duryodhana and his associate did to the Pandava. They sent them to the forest, and they went into the forest and built a small hermitage very close to them so that they can be monitoring how they are suffering. And one day, the Gandharvas, they attacked them. They attacked the Duryodhana and his associate. Yudhishthira Maharaj was even more compassionate to them. He sent his brothers. They were very angry. What kind of senior brother is this? These guys, they have come here to laugh at us, but you are still saying we should go and save them. That is the personality of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And it's mentioned here that Parishit Maharaj is going to have equanimity of mind. He is going to have mind like his father, his uncle, I will say. He said he's going to be munificent like Lord Shiva. We all know Lord Shiva. He's very, very merciful. If you want to get the message of Krishna very fast, you worship Lord Shiva. I'm not saying we should worship Lord Shiva, but this is what the scripture said. Like the Prashitas. When they met Lord Shiva gave them the blessing for them to meet Lord Krishna. Because Lord Shiva is the highest Vaishnava, is the pure, the highest devotee of Krishna. So, and he's very, very, very munificent. So it's going to be like that. And he's mentioned again, he said, he will give everyone shelter like Lord Narayan. That's Mari Parishit Maharaj. Like Krishna is protecting and giving all of us shelter. So it's going to be like that. Then he said, magnanimity like King Rantidev. Wow. When I saw Rantidev, I was very, very happy. Because you cannot mention great leaders in this universe without mentioning Rantidev. There's such great selfless leader. And the world needs more of this kind of selfless leader now than ever. This world we are living now. We need such selfless leader now more than ever. Who is Rantidev? Rantidev was such a great devotee of the Lord who worshiped the Lord with full pure heart. According to BHAGAVATAM, he was fasting for 40 days. And when they brought food for him, when he was just about to break his fast, a king for that matter, just imagine me and you fasting for, let's say, 1 week. and they give me food, I will be ready to go and eat it. I don't want anybody to come and beg. I will be ready to eat the food. Because why? I'm thinking I'm be fasting. No, I need to eat now. Just imagine just only, no, that 7 days is too much now. Let's give example. On a Jamasami. You'll be fasting from morning till midnight. You now serve you prasadam. They now give you special preparation. You try to hide it so that nobody will come and share with you. That is how we behave. But see, Auntie Dave has been fasting for 14 days and he was giving food. And immediately he was giving food because all the demigods already knew that this person is a great devotee. They just want to give him a test to glorify him more. So immediately he got that food. A Brahmana came and begged for the food. Auntie Dave gave. Then a Shudra came to beg again. He gave. And it was remaining only water for him to drink. A Yavana, untouchable who have dog with him, came to beg for that. And before giving that, King Auntie Dave, a realization came upon him and offered prayer to the Lord. That he wants to continue constantly to remain in this state of mind. Why? Just by being selfless. All of us, we can experience this. We have experienced it at a particular stage of our life. By being selfless, there is this inner joy that comes from our hearts. Just by being selfless. Even though we have experienced this, but we cannot keep that consistency because we have not attained the platform of pure devotional service or self-realization. We know that is good, but we cannot be steady on it because we are not on transcendental platform yet. But Auntie Dave was on that platform. That bliss, he offered prayer to the Lord that he wants to continue to remain like this, to be able to benefit all living entity for the Lord's pleasure. He was very magnanimous. Selfless. So the world needs more kings who are selfless now than ever. We need more. I remember when I was doing my master in public administration in University of Abuja. So by Krishna mercy, I don't know. I applied for the program in the university, and our coordinator happens to be a Muslim. I didn't know, maybe he was testing me, maybe he has tested me. Somehow or the other, he just, without no democratic appointment, he just gave me the class, to be the class coordinator. So when they gave me that service, so the ways I was operating that service, all my classmates decided, like, which planet this guy came from? Because normally, when you are giving that kind of service, you want to use it to make money and exploit your fellow colleagues. When the lecturer gives you some material, you print it and make more money from them. But instead of me doing that, sometimes I even had my money to do for others. And at the end of the program, many lecturers was telling me, Kazim, I've not seen a student like you before. It's not that I'm proud about it, but that's what they say to my face. Because all the things that other students use for making money, it's like you seem like not interested. Where do you come from? What kind of religion are you practicing? I said, I'm Hare Krishna. What is Hare Krishna? Tell us more. And since that day, they will start, when they want to greet me, my HOD, my coordinator, another lecturer, they will start, when I say good afternoon, sir, they say namaste, namaste. You know? So that is how people get affected to see someone who is practicing or trying to develop selflessness. You are doing things and you are not expecting anything in return. So this is how we have to cultivate and practice this kind of leadership we want to see in others. And that is the only way we can make a change in this world. See, today, those lecturers, they still want to communicate with me, relate with me, even though we are not have finished the program. One of them even invited me to his house. He has not done that before. A professor said, Kazim, please come to my house. I went there, he gave me drink, even gave me a gift. He said, I really appreciate the way you behave and handle, because the people I'm handling, they are not just primary, secondary school. They are people who are properly situated in different parastatus in the ministry in Abuja here. So they are coming to take masters. So they are the kind of, and the way you are relating with them is like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? So these are the qualities that Maharaj Parishi was exhibiting, and we are hearing from our scripture. And the only reason why we are hearing them is for us to develop them, to consciously cultivate them, so that we can use it to benefit our own life and the people around us. So I would like to stop here, because if I say let me continue, we will not finish today. So I will stop here. Parishit Maharaj was a great king, and now we are going to be hearing about those great qualities that he exhibited when he faced Kali. That is the top title. We're going to be hearing them again and again. Why? He was a great king. We're going to be hearing them from now to the end of this chapter. So these stories, these pastimes, they are put into the scriptures, not just for us to read them, but for us to inculcate them in our life and try to practice them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. It's great.
So I don't know, maybe there's some question and contribution. I will not say for chastisement, because Saturday PRABHU is going to chastise me.
Well, Hare Krishna, thank you so much. It's so beautiful. Today is Monday, it's beginning of the week, and you started the chapter, which is the beginning of the chapter, the first verse, and you dealt with it so beautifully. Thank you so much. So, like His Grace Kavi said, whoever has a question, comment, please. You unmute and do that.
I only have a chastisement, and since he said he doesn't want chastisement, so I'll just keep silent.
All right. Thank you. Keep silent.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much for a beautiful class. It's a nice one. Thank you.
Shri Kavi Prabhu, you were talking about how messy our present day style of government is. And you said you do not think democracy is really good for the African continent. And looking back in the scriptures, the style of government being practiced was that of monarchy. Now, I understand that the king is worshipped because everybody looks after his own, but the king looks after everyone in his kingdom. But the question I have is that, just like in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit is actually a grandson of Arjuna. And Maharaj Yudhishthira wanted to have someone to become the next emperor so that he can relinquish the leadership. Now, they were so much in distress because they were not having anybody as a son to become the next emperor. Now, why should Maharaj Yudhishthira and the Pandavas become so worried because they were not having anybody to transfer powers to. Whereas in the kingdom, I believe that there was somebody, there was at least one person who also knew the art of governing, but they wanted one from their own lineage, from their own family. Why should that be the case? Because it is not always true that the best person is always going to come from the family. There may be a better person from a different family, but they always select somebody from the same family. It's just like all the monarchs we have in this world today. They all select from the same family lineage, which to me is more or less like the same of the caste system, which is condemned by the scriptures. So I want you to shed some light on this.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yeah, like you rightly said, Krishna said that he has created the caste system, the Varna and Ashrama. Krishna himself is one who has created it. And he said that if we want to live happily on this planet, we have to follow this system. Very, very important. Because if the leg start doing the work of the head, there's going to be a big problem. And that is a practical example we are getting in demon crazy, as Papa will say. When people gather together, foolish people gather together, and they select somebody as their leader. And that person will go there just to do what? To enslave and impoverish them more and more. Not thinking about them, not caring about them, but thinking about his own relatives, himself and his extended families. That is what we are getting, and that is what we are having today. And just because bad kings, it's not that there was no bad king in those days. There were bad kings. King Vena and so many of them. So I said, what is the name of that king? Who was demon? What is his name?
Yeah,
the one, huh?
The one they churned the body?
Yes.
Yeah, Vena.
Vena, yes. He was a bad king, very wicked king. We have bad kings also in those days. But because Krishna is one who have established this Varnashram, the Brahmanas, the Kshatriya, who are supposed to be the king. Kshatriya means king. Kshatriya doesn't mean soldier. Because sometimes if you want to equate it to, say, military or the Kshatriya. No, Kshatriya means king. Even in the king armies, we have Shudras. So Kshatriya means king. We have the Brahmanas, the learned ones. We have the Kshatriya, the kings. We have Vaishya, the mercantile class, and we have Shudras, the laborer. This is the system Prabhupada has created. And we have the spiritual order also, ashram, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and science. This is the order Krishna has created. And Krishna said, I'm the one who have created this. And if you look all over the world, any part of the world, you will find this Varna. Those who are naturally born into a king family, those who are naturally business people, those who are Shudras, and those who are intellectuals. They are in every society in the world. Prabhupada said, Krishna said, this is what I've created. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that you were asking, why is it that Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted somebody from his own family? Why? He wanted somebody from his own family. Prabhupada gave a very good example in the purport. Because why? These people, they are very conscious about their family glories. And because they have this leadership or Kshatriya genetic in them, they even want to do greater things than their fathers. They have this blood flowing in them. So that is why they want somebody from their family, because why? The blood is in them to be a leader, to lead others for the purpose of the people's welfare. This is natural. Their fathers have set this example. The fathers have set this example. So they follow these examples. Unlike somebody whose father is a Shudra, a shoemaker, and you want to go and be a leader, what example are you going to give? In those days, they say a Shudra should not be giving money. Why? Because you have nothing more than wine and women. When they give a Shudra money, what will he think? What will he be thinking? Wine and woman. Finish. So what I'm saying in essence is that those who are Kshatriyas, they have this blood in them. And that is why you see, Krishna was very particular when Krishna wants to come to the planet, wants to come to health also. He's very particular about the devotee who he comes through, who become his parent. That is why when you go to Vrindavan, a place like Vrindavan, they will say, this Pujari, his father. He has been doing this service. And today, he's the one doing the service. Because these people, they are very conscious about family heritage. Even till today, some Africans, although majority of Africa, they don't care about family heritage of their hereditary or what they do in their family. Many people they don't care, they care less about that because of colonialism. But in those days, that was very prominent. My father was a great warrior. I want to be a great warrior. My father was a great Brahmana. I want to be a great Brahmana. My father was a great businessman. I want to be a great businessman. My father was a great laborer, Shudra. I want to be a great Shudra also. So he was very particular about getting a child. And also one other reason was they are the emperor of the world. You cannot just pass that to anybody anyhow. They don't do that. It's not possible. Just like we have, like you rightly mentioned about the Great Britain, the monarchy system of passing from. You don't pass it anyhow. Their family has been the ruler of that, except if somebody overthrown that family. It happens sometime and usurp the power by force. But if not, in those days, whoever is a king, he passes it down to his child passes to his child passes to his child, and that is how the lineage continues. Except somebody come to that kingdom, defeat the king, and just for supremacy, put somebody else into power. That is possible. But apart from that, monarchy system is hereditary. And those who come from that family, they always have tinge of that quality. And that is why it's like that. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the answer. I still have lots of questions on this particular topic, but I will leave it as it is. And if other devotees have questions, please unmute and do that. Tribhuvanat Prabhu, please unmute.
Tribu,
Baba, thank you, Kavi Prabhu.
the great Pujari. All glories.
Kavi Prabhu, thank you. You have really dealt with this particular subject. Really fantastic, incredible the way you have dealt with it. Especially you have allied so many stories for us to get the insight of this text. I want to add to the question that was raised.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes. I see that the question that was raised has so much value because one may say because they have learned from experience, Bandhu gave, it gave power to the Dhritarashtra, and that was a big problem that they have to face. But at the same time, we also want to say from a different angle also that are they really encouraging, the caste system? But one would say no, because Parishit himself was like Krishna's body, because Parishit was born in the womb. Krishna reformed his body. And not only that, like you have mentioned, qualification. It has, it has that qualification to really rule, just like we have from King, what's his name, Prithu. King Prithu, just by his name, people glorify him. As these my areas of comment, and my question now is that today, a lot of people, they don't care about the glories of their previous forefather or lineage. And we hear that just by Parishit hearing, which is the subject matter, hearing the glories of his previous father, how they have art, how they have done so many wonderful things, he get fired up, he get enthused. But today we see that these things don't count at all to the modern man. So what are the solutions? Is it because they didn't act well on our side, or because there's no time for us to begin to recount all those things that are very valuable? Because they say, if you want to know who you are, you have to go back to where you come from. So your comment on this, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you very much for the contribution. Very wonderful. Thank you. And also regarding the question, the migration and the movement of people has actually done so much disruption to the values of the world. Because let's say, for example, let me give Africa as an example, because I know more of Africa here, so I can always give as an example. Let me give African as an example. Africans, we have so much rich heritage and so much histories. I will give you a place where Prabhu came from as an example, Benin. We all know about the Benin Kingdom. But who cares about that anymore again? Because why? Because of colonization and migration and the change of government system. Even I remember when I was in my undergraduate, we studied about the history of Nigeria. Come and see speculation, Prabhu. Speculation. They don't even know where they are coming from. No proper documentation. Some people say they are coming from Israel. How can a black man be coming from a white man country? Misinformation and no proper documentation. So because we African, we don't have this proper documentation of our past histories, and that is why it's a major challenge we are having in our continent today. You see Rome. When you hear about the Roman Empire, Italy will be, they will be making all means to make sure they keep their name in the world. The British, when they hear about the time they colonize the world, they will be struggling to keep their name in the world. The Greeks, they will be struggling to keep their name. The Egyptians, when they hear the name in the history, they will be struggling to keep their name in the world. Indians also. The Indian one is the most amazing one. An Indian man can trace his lineage to the sages. This one will say I'm from Bharadwaj Muni's lineage. This one we say I'm from Agassiz Muni. This one we say I'm from Vasista. Just imagine, see how they can trace their lineage. And that's add to their what we call self-confidence about their personality, who they are. Only very few people in Africa can trace their lineage to their great forefathers. Very few, handful. And that has added a lot. Because if you don't know who you are, like we say in our spiritual practice, we have to know that we are the soul, the spirit soul inside the body, that we are not this body. So if we know that we are soul and we start acting on the platform of the soul, it gives a complete different meaning to our life. Similarly, those who are living, who are very materialistic attached to their lineage, just hearing about their lineage and their connection, it gives a complete different meaning to their life. So the major challenge is in Africa, we don't have proper documentation. Just imagine if Prabhupada has come first to Africa. Do you think we will see a video of Prabhupada of 1966? I don't think so. Except Prabhu was here for our photo of many years we have done arena. Me, I don't even know where you are getting it from. Some human beings are different in Africa, you know. I don't know where you are getting all those old pictures from. But I'm very sure majority, where are those videos of Bhattacharya Swami Maharaj when he started the movement in Africa? Where are they? We want to see them today to inspire us so that we can be fired up and preach. We need those videos. Where are they? Maybe you can look for 1 or 2 here and there. Where are those pictures of those great devotees who have come to sacrifice here, to preach here in Africa? Where are they? Just by watching them, we can mobilize and motivate many devotees. Where are they? I'm very sure. Maybe you find one picture here and there that water already starts falling off of it. So that is the major problem. We don't keep proper documentation. And it's not our fault. It's our karma. The first time Prabhupada came to Kenya, what did they do to Prabhupada? They stole his dhoti. One devotee one devotee took his dhoti, the other one took his gamsha. His great Bharat Prabhu wants to throw more light for us. Please, Prabhu, please, go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu, you please unmute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Blessings to everybody. Thank you for the wonderful class. I have 2 points, 2 contributions. One is you asked when Prabhupada said that a pure devotee, one has to be a pure devotee, then automatically all the qualities come, and you wanted people's opinion. So I was thinking, purity as being, pure. The idea of being pure means unalloyed, pinpointed, and not other things mixed to it, you know. So I wanted to describe it in that manner. 1 minute. And that actually it boils down to one word: selflessness. You know, like Caesar said, our interest, saying as a leader, our interest should be dealt with last. What concerns us should be dealt with last. That's what Caesar said. So I wanted to say that selflessness is the key, you know, quality of this purity. And then I found out that in all your descriptions, this same word selflessness runs through every fiber of the description. So just reminiscing on that point, that selflessness is actually one key word for the purity. Then the second point is about the hereditary monarchies, the power to somebody from their family. Of course,
Sorry, Prabhu, your network is
there's
breaking.
another example. There's another example, the example of Bharat. And he had 100 sons. You're not hearing me?
We are hearing now, but it's breaking. Yes, we are. It's breaking and it's making us to miss the nectar.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. What I can do. Okay.
Yes, we are hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Maharaj Bharat, he had 100 sons, and he couldn't find any one of them qualified to succeed him. And he handed over his kingdom to somebody else, not from his family. So just to let us know that even though it seems like a natural thing, to want to hand over to.
Wow, I'm missing network today.
Yeah, poor network today.
Yes. Oh, so that nectar was flowing.
Blood, but man of his sons, because I did not find any one of them qualified. I'm clear. Okay, Hare Krishna. I'm driving, so please, I cannot talk much. So that's just some contribution, right?
Thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Well, we thank Shriman Vara Prabhu for that contribution. Anyone else with a question, comment?
Actually, that's little something about what Prabhu. Okay, somebody wants to. Okay, Triple One Prabhu want to say something.
Unmute. Please.
If not, I wanted to say something about Prabhu's contribution.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhu is sum everything up in the great quality of a leader. Please, if you can mute somebody that is mic is on. Okay, thank you. So, selflessness is the key to being a great leader. And that is why, and that is what is missing in today's leadership quality. And that is why I love the way Bhaktivinoda Maharaj is presenting his preaching to bring out all these Vedic principles to teach to modern man. To be selfless is very, very difficult. It's not easy. In everything, we're always thinking about me first, me first. Everything we are doing, we're always considering ourselves first. So that is a great quality of leadership. And the second one about the King Bharat, yes, wonderful. But we just pointed out and put to our attention that those days also, it's not compulsory, it must be hereditary. If there's no qualified person, not that there was no qualified, I think the children, they decided to be pure devotees. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. And those who are supposed to be Kshatriyas, I think is it that they become pure devotee or what happened? And the father has to give it to someone else. Because he had 100 sons. And some are Brahmanas, some are Kshatriyas. And that was the first instances, the first instances in the scripture. So thank you very much, Prabhu, for the wonderful contribution. What is the reason why he didn't give it to his son? Is it that they become pure devotees or they were not qualified? Because Bharat Maharaj was a great pure devotee himself. And what happened why he gave it to someone else? If the Prabhu can come back and give them more points. Thank you. Prabhu, please, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Kavik Prabhu.
Yeah.
None of them was qualified.
Okay. Not that because they become pure devotee.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
You see, if we look at that word selflessness,
Yes.
I don't know, you have time to touch that word selflessness, because we see that Yudhishthira was selfless, he was taught a lesson. The earth is selfless, the earth is taught a lesson. You see, the trees is selfless, is taught a lesson. So here we have raised the point that is selfless. And we see that selflessness, the lesson in selflessness is not something that one can easily digest. So your comment on this, Prabhu? Yes,
thank you very much, Prabhu. Yes, it's true. What you are saying is a very good point, that when you become selfless in the world where everybody is self-centered and self-egocentric, it's not easy decision. Yes, but actually that selflessness, just like Prabhu said, is great Sriman Varara Prabhu mentioned, is the key to purity. Actually, Prabhu says is the key. When you say pure devotee means one who is completely selfless. Completely selfless. So selflessness, we have to develop selflessness once we have already made our priority right. What do you want? Do you want to be in this world, or you want to get out of this world? Once we are able to answer this question, then the next thing is how to get out. If we have made a decision that you want to get out, how to get out? Selflessness. Selflessness is the key. The more you think less about yourself, just like, let me give an example of Prabhupada. If Prabhupada is not selfless, how will he live Vrindavan at such age to come to the West? Not easy. How will he live? If Prabhupada is not selfless, how will he live Vrindavan? When people, certainly people like him, they are only thinking about their own liberation. To sit in Vrindavan till when they leave their body to die. That was the part. Once you become old, that is what we start thinking. I want to go to the holy dam and stay there and perfect my life and go back to Godhead. But Prabhupada said, no. I want to go to the West and save people. I want to go and preach Krishna consciousness. That is pure selflessness. That is purity. Unless you are selfless, like Sriman Varara Prabhu mentioned, unless you are selfless, you cannot be pure.
All right, thank you so much, Prabhuji. We really appreciate for the time and the love given into this text and verse. And I believe the devotees have very much relished the lecture. So many things to learn from the class. And so at this point, we're humbly going to request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we chant Big Hare Krishna to express our appreciation for our speaker today. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Pancha
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patani pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.